When working with intermediate ability athletes, the coaching ratio should be 1 coach per 2 to 3 players. Athletes at this level have good lateral movement and can get into position to make a save, are comfortable using their hands to catch or collect the ball, can dive for balls, although may struggle with timing, and are generally accurate when distributing the ball. It's important to give clear demonstrations and to progress slowly, adding only one new element at a time. Assistant coaches are still important, but larger goals and exercise areas can be used. At this level, athletes can be expected to have a good awareness of the goal area and of their role within the team. Their goalkeeping techniques are generally good, and they can apply their skills to match situations. Most important is for the athletes to enjoy the session, so make it fun with lots of encouragement. It's important for goalkeepers to do a thorough warm-up in order to avoid injuries, especially at a level where they'll have to make lots of jumps and dives. Intermediate ability athletes have a higher level of motor skills and are capable of a more thorough warm-up. Their attention is also better, so the coach can verbally explain each practice before executing it.
Good. Knees up again. Is anyone tired yet? Make a bit of a circle.
Stretching is carried out with the players standing in a circle, so they can all see properly. The coach explains where the stretches should be felt in order to ensure that the athletes are doing them correctly.
Then you gradually just lean down onto your left side or right side. Yeah? And then once more back the other way.
All major muscle groups should be thoroughly warmed up and stretched, but it's important to make sure that the athletes don't overstretch any muscles, as this could result in injuries.
One arm down and one arm up, and then you just change like that. Okay? That's it, and then you just start swinging, and what you want to be able to do then is just try and touch it. So, go backwards.
If the players have problems with balance, it can help to do the stretches in pairs, so the players can hold on to each other. It can be a good idea to add a bit of fun by making the last stage of the warm-up into a passing game. This way the ball is introduced and the athletes get some practice of ball control and team awareness by first passing the ball between them, then by using their hands to throw it. During the warm-up, the main points are to introduce movement, to clearly demonstrate stretching exercises, to assist athletes with balance problems, and to build up towards a game exercise. When teaching ball handling, the coach can work with 2 to 3 players at a time, giving clear instructions and physical demonstrations. Begin with the easiest way of catching the ball, which is scooping it, where the whole body should be behind the ball as a safeguard, should the goalkeeper lose grip of it. Here, the players work in pairs, getting practice in feeding the ball as well as catching it. The next step is to catch medium-height balls, where the hands should be in the shape of a W. The coach demonstrates and checks that each athlete has got it right before continuing. Encourage the players to always try to get both hands behind the ball.
Okay. W. To his face. Now throw it a little bit higher. Throw it high to his face. So try and, we're not going to try and hurt him, we're going to try and throw it so it's
And then, high balls. Again, the hands should be forming a W shape with both hands behind the ball. Instruct the players to always bring down the ball towards the body once they've caught it. Here, the coach explains how to feed the ball for a high catch with an underarm throw. The coach should take the opportunity to teach the correct feeding techniques, as this will be of help when the athletes are learning distribution. To start with, the exercise area should be limited, but distances can soon be increased to advance the exercise. The coach must always take care to teach the players techniques which are not damaging to their backs. This is how to catch a low ball, with the body protecting the area behind the hands in case the ball slips through. At this level, it's important to demonstrate and explain to the players the reasons behind certain techniques. The athletes first practice just taking the position a few times before the ball is introduced. Remember to correct any mistakes at an early stage, and always praise good effort.
Lots of beat. Yes. So he's not my hand. Yeah, hold it again. Yes. Hold it again. Yep. That's good. Right. So now we've done the easy catch.
Once the different ball handling situations have been practiced, it's time to introduce more movement. Here, the players learn to combine an earlier catching technique with a lateral movement across the goal area.
Now what do you think that's all about? Well, because in the game, you're not going to be able to stand there and go...
The exercise is simulating a match situation where the goalkeeper moves across to the goalpost before returning to the centre position to catch the ball.
Ready this? Okay. Try and get the throw a little bit quicker. Right, go.
Players on intermediate ability level find it relatively easy to combine different elements in an exercise, as long as the progression is step by step. But even more basic skills can become difficult when many elements are combined. And here the coach is reminding the players of how to best perform a sideways move. He's showing what the athlete might do wrong, as well as showing them the correct way to do it.
Skip like that, if you up in the air, you can't do much either. So, little skips. And what you two done there? Spot. Go. Yeah. Go.
Make sure that the players take turns at feeding the ball, so they get to practice both elements of the exercise. The main points in ball handling are to practice feeding as well as catching the ball, to protect the ball with the whole body, to use the W shape when catching higher balls, and to introduce lateral movement. It's important to introduce one element at a time. Here, the coach starts with teaching the players the correct so-called set position. This is the position the goalkeeper should always take in preparation for the next move. The coach explains the correct hand placement and encourages the players to keep their eyes focused on the ball. He then demonstrates the basic dive. It's important that the athletes learn a safe technique for going down on the ground in order to avoid injuries.
Use the same W. Catch the
Once the players are comfortable with the movement, the ball is introduced.
I'm going to roll the ball. That's on your toes. Yes.
To advance the exercise, the coach can gradually increase the distance and strength when feeding the balls. Most goalkeepers find it more difficult to dive towards one side than the other, so don't forget to practice both directions. The next step is to combine a catch and a dive in a more game-like exercise. When doing more complicated routines, like this, the coach must make clear and repeated demonstrations and ensure that the athletes have understood the instructions.
You ready? So you're going first. Ready? Good catch. Dive.
Here the coach is demonstrating the correct foot movements for skipping sideways. The athletes should stand on their toes, enabling them to move quickly while keeping their balance. This exercise helps the athletes practice their awareness across the goal area and make continuous saves, covering different angles. This is a development of the previous exercise, including a sharper turn of direction and a larger area to move across before making the second save. The coach shows how to correctly move the feet in order to make a fast transition between the 2 points. He also makes sure that the exercise is practiced in both directions. When catching low balls, it's important to get down on the ground as quickly as possible. Here, the coach is showing how to collapse the inner leg and push off with the outer one. It helps to first let the athletes practice and move without a ball, preferably mirroring the coach in order to learn the correct technique. With these exercises, the coach must be very careful to ensure that the athlete is comfortable before progressing, as the wrong technique could cause the player an injury.
Because it's low, you want to get down before you push. I think I'm going to go the other way. One more. And this to win the cup final. Oh, you've only done it. You want to be scoring a goal, not saving it. On your toes, that's it. Superb. Well done. One more. This could take it to extra time. Oh, it's taking it to extra time. It's a draw. Well done, well done. You okay with that? Sure? So high.
To make a high dive, the athletes are instructed to push off with the inner leg.
You want to get height this time. Height and
To clarify, the coach demonstrates the different techniques for first making a low and then a high dive. When making a dive, the goalkeeper should always lead with his hand. Pushing up with the bottom hand keeps the body high in the air, while pushing up with the top hand makes the body go down.
top hand, you go down. For a high dive, it's very difficult to grab hold of the ball and land and keep it all in.
It can be difficult to catch the ball when making a dive, so another option is to push it wide or over the bar. Most important is that the goalkeeper is the first one to make contact with the ball.
I'm going to throw it up in there. Ready? Superb, Joe. Well done, mate. There.
The athletes should always stand on their toes in order to keep their balance right. It's important to practice the dives in both directions, but at this stage, it's a good idea to let the athlete know on what side to expect the ball. The more complicated the routine is, the more concentration and effort it takes from the athlete. So don't forget to applaud a good performance. Here, the coach shows how to keep the hands together when punching a ball. A good exercise, which doesn't waste time running after the balls, is to punch them into the goal net from a kneeling position. The coach interrupts to correct any mistakes, and here explains the importance of keeping the hands together to create a big surface area to punch the ball with.
Yes, that's good. Good, one more.
Punching can be done when the goalkeeper can't manage to catch the ball. For example, if there are opponents blocking his way in the goal area.
Now that exercise you can do, if you get your friends to do it with you.
The most important points to remember are to always be prepared in the set position, to push off with the correct leg in the direction of the ball, to lead with the hand to dive high or low, and to make a big surface area when punching. Keep the hands together. The coach is demonstrating different types of throws to use for distribution. The roll, the underarm throw, the sideways throw, and the overarm throw. The athletes are working in pairs and adapting the distance between them, depending on the type of throw being practiced. An overarm throw is used to distribute the ball to a further away teammate. Moving forward in the direction of the throw can increase the momentum of the ball. Next, the coach makes a physical demonstration of the various kicks the goalkeepers need to learn. Kicking from a static position, kicking a rolling ball, and volleying the ball. When using a volley, the goalkeeper should get the ball high, so he'll need to practice the timing of the kick. Some players might require more assistance with certain elements, and it's important that coaches or assistants are in place to spend time with each individual. In a match situation, the players will have to decide whether to kick, roll or throw the ball, depending on the distance to the teammates and the pressure from the opponents. Remind them never to distribute the ball across their own goal area, and emphasize the importance of having control over the ball before sending it away from the danger area in the best possible way. When practicing distribution, the main points are to move forward in the direction of a kick or throw, to practice the timing of the kicks, to control the ball, assess the situation, and decide the method of distribution, and to never distribute the ball across their own goal area.
Why is it important that we're doing something for goalkeepers? Simply because we're left out all the time. We're the ones who everybody just thinks should stand in there and get the ball kicked out 100 miles an hour, whatever. And as I say, we've got athletes here who enjoyed the training session today. They enjoyed goalkeeping as much as I do, and I think that if they can enjoy it by having a better technique, which hopefully the video will demonstrate better techniques,
then they'll enjoy the football and get better success.